Chapter 1450. Lu Ming's gaze was like lightning as he looked at He Yu. This person was despicable. They were from the same sect, but he wanted to kill Lu Ming and betrayed Lu Ming. Yin Feng, who was standing beside He Yu, sneered. He, the disciples of the Dragon God Valley have spoken. Looks like it's true. The Sage Realm expert from the Heavenly Divinity sect sneered and his aura became stronger. I told you, I didn't get Emperor Kang's inheritance. Lu Ming spoke again as he looked at Shi Tian, Mo Jie, He Yu and the others. Speaking of which, Lu Ming had saved them. If it wasn't for Lu Ming, they would have been killed by the Soul Destroyer Shakyamuni and their flesh and blood would have been refined. Everyone would have died then. But now, these people wanted to kill Lu Ming. Lu Ming would remember these people. There would be a time to settle this score in the future. Words are no proof. We want to test it. The Sage Realm expert from the Heavenly Divinity sect said coldly. You want to test it? The Heavenly Divinity sect is so overbearing. Do you think the Dragon God Valley will be afraid of you? Elder Hong was overbearing and his aura was violent like a real dragon. The confrontation between the two Sage Realm experts made many of the youths pale as if a mountain was pressing down on their hearts. It was so uncomfortable that they wanted to vomit blood. Lu Ming was slightly better. He had seen the terrifying aura of the two emperors. Although the Sage Realm expert's aura was strong, it couldn't affect his heart. Lu Ming, did you really enter Emperor Kang's chamber? Elder Hong asked Lu Ming. Everyone's eyes fell on Lu Ming, waiting to see how Lu Ming would answer. Yes, I did enter the core of Emperor Kang's chamber. Lu Ming nodded. Looks like no one is slandering you. You admitted it yourself. The Sage Realm expert from the Heavenly Divinity sect said. Entering the core of Emperor Kang's chamber doesn't mean you got the inheritance. Lu Ming, what did you see in the core of Emperor Kang's chamber? What did you do? Elder Hong asked again. I saw Emperor Kang. Lu Ming said. These words were undoubtedly like a sudden clap of thunder that exploded in everyone's minds. Everyone looked at Lu Ming in shock. Lu Ming saw Emperor Kang? Could it be that Kang Di was still alive? Is Kang Di still alive? The Sage Realm expert from the Celestial Divinity sect asked with a hoarse voice. Lu Ming nodded his head and said, That's right, Grey Emperor is still alive. Hiss hiss hiss, a series of gasps could be heard. Who would have thought that the Kang Emperor was still alive? Then the Kang province would really change greatly. If the Azure Emperor is still alive, why hasn't there been any trace of him in the past 60,000 years? Someone raised a question. That's right, Lu Ming. Speak clearly. What did you see? What did you get? Someone asked. The reason why Emperor Kang has disappeared for 60,000 years is because he is seriously injured. Moreover, he has been confronting a great enemy for 60,000 years. At that moment, Lu Ming didn't hide anything. He told her everything he had seen. However, there was one thing that he had made a slight change. In fact, the Soul Destroyer Shakyamuni had the upper hand. However, Lu Ming said that Emperor Kang and the Soul Destroyer Shakyamuni were on par. After 60,000 years of confrontation, Emperor Kang used his lightning cauldron to gain the upper hand and suppress the Soul Destroyer Shakyamuni. Soul Destroyer Shakyamuni, it's the Soul Destroyer Shakyamuni. The Soul Destroyer Shakyamuni is still alive. The Sage Realm experts present seemed to have heard of the Soul Destroyer Shakyamuni's name. While they were shocked, they also revealed a solemn expression. I see. Many of them who hadn't heard of the Soul Destroyer Shakyamuni were shocked. They finally knew why Emperor Kang had suddenly disappeared 60,000 years ago. It turned out that he had encountered a great enemy. Many of the youths who had entered the secret realm were shocked. They recalled the many skeletons they had seen in the Great Emperor's secret realm. Obviously, they had all been killed by Emperor Kang's enemy. Senior Emperor Kang borrowed my sacred weapon, the lightning cauldron, to bring the Soul Destroyer Shakyamuni into the infinite void. He said that he would return the lightning cauldron to thank me for my help. In the end, Lu Ming said. The meaning of his words was simple. Emperor Kang was still alive, but he hadn't obtained Emperor Kang's inheritance. Moreover, Emperor Kang was indebted to him. Once Emperor Kang had defeated his enemy, he would return to find him. He was using Emperor Kang's name to intimidate the experts of the other sects. If they were to touch Lu Ming now, they would have to answer to Emperor Kang when he returned. Haha, little brat, there's no need to use Emperor Kang to threaten us. The Celestial God Sect's Sage Realm expert sneered. They naturally wouldn't believe Lu Ming's words completely. But there was one thing that they could be sure of. Grey Emperor was indeed still alive. Previously, they had seen Emperor Kang's palace break through the void. With their Sage Realm cultivation, they could feel a faint trace of Emperor Kang's aura. Now that Lu Ming had mentioned it, they were certain that Emperor Kang was in the palace. Since Emperor Kang wasn't dead, it was impossible for Lu Ming to obtain Emperor Kang's inheritance. A living emperor wouldn't pass down his inheritance. If they wanted someone to inherit his mantle, they could just accept him as a disciple. If Lu Ming didn't obtain Emperor Kang's inheritance, there was no point in capturing Lu Ming. Instead, they would offend Dragon God Valley. It wasn't worth it. A few Sage Realm experts looked at each other and shook their heads. Let's go. Since Emperor Kang isn't dead, we should make plans early. Let's go back and report to the sect leader. A few Sage Realm experts spoke one after another. Then, they left with the youths of their respective sects. The Celestial God Sect's Sage Realm expert snorted. His eyes flickered a few times, but he didn't continue to pursue Lu Ming and turned to leave. Senior brother He Yu, I heard that Lu Ming killed Wu Sandu of the Desire Poison sect in Emperor Kang's palace. It seems like our Dragon God Valley will have another peerless genius. At this moment, a voice rang out from within the Dragon God Valley. It was so loud that it spread far and wide. Yin Feng. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with killing intent. Yin Feng was purposely trying to harm him. Wu Sandu was the green-robed youth that Lu Ming had killed in Emperor Kang's palace. True enough, when the Saint Realm expert from the Desire Poison sect heard this, he stopped in his tracks. He turned around and looked at Lu Ming, his body exuding a cold murderous intent. Brat, so Wu Sandu was killed by you. The Desire Poison sect's Sage Realm expert's voice was cold. A layer of poisonous fog emitted from his body and a powerful aura pressed down on Lu Ming. Hee. Within the Dragon God Valley's group, He Yu and Yin Feng sneered. Just a moment ago, Lu Ming had managed to escape under such circumstances. How could they be willing to accept that? Hence, they purposely announced that Lu Ming had killed Wu Sandu. I was the one who killed him. So what? In the Emperor's mystic realm, we were competing. He wanted to kill me first, so how can I not kill him? Lu Ming said loudly. Then I'll kill you to avenge him. The Desire Poison sect's elder roared and stepped forward. Poisonous fog filled the air. Chapter 1451. Roar. A dragon's roar shook the 9 heavens. Elder Hong seemed to have turned into a violent dragon. His long hair danced in the wind as he stared at the Desire Poison sect Sage Realm expert and said, "The Great Emperor Mystic Realm doesn't forbid killing. Naturally, there will be competition for treasures. Your Desire Poison sect is proficient in using poison. Many of the sects here have probably lost their members to your Desire Poison sect. Should we also settle the score with your Desire Poison sect? If the younger generation fights and dies, they can only blame themselves for being useless. As an elder, you want to deal with a junior. Do you have any shame?" Elder Hong was extremely domineering and his voice was like a bell. The Desire Poison sect's Sage Realm expert's face turned ugly. However, it made sense. If the younger generation fought and died, it could only be said that they were useless. If the elders intervened because of this, especially the Sage Realm experts, wouldn't it be a mess? You kill my juniors, I kill yours. Then, these sects would never be able to develop. There are many elites in Dragon God Valley, but my Desire Poison sect isn't bad either. Let's wait and see. The Desire Poison sect's Sage Realm expert looked coldly at Lu Ming before he waved his sleeves and left. In the blink of an eye, everyone from the Desire Poison sect had left. Damn it, he managed to escape with his life. Yin Feng gritted his teeth in the crowd. He's lucky. There are plenty of ways to kill him in Dragon God Valley. He Yu also said coldly. Originally, They wanted to use the desire poison sex experts to get rid of Lu Ming. However, they did not expect Elder Hong to be so domineering and protect Lu Ming. They were unwilling to let Lu Ming escape. Lu Ming turned around and looked coldly at He Yu and Yin Feng. It was as if he was looking at two dead men. These two people had tried to kill him time and time again. He had to kill these two people. Alright, let's return to Dragon God Valley first, Elder Hong said as he took out a battleship. Everyone boarded the battleship and the battleship flew towards Dragon God Valley. A few days later, everyone arrived at Dragon God Valley. Outside the Dragon God Valley, everyone got out of the battleship. Elder Hong led them into the Dragon God Valley. They flew past the outer valley and into the snowy mountain inside. They arrived in front of a huge palace. The palace seemed to be made out of white jade. In front of the palace was a huge square. Lu Ming and the others landed on the square. When Lu Ming and the others arrived, there were already many people surrounding the square. Clearly, they had already known about their return and had rushed over to watch. This time, they were entering the Great Emperor's mystic realm. Naturally, it attracted many people because they were very curious. Alright, all of you have passed the Divine Dragon Valley's test. Next, there are two things you need to do. Elder Hong stood at the highest point and said loudly. The scene quieted down. The first thing is to hand over the treasures and manuals that you have obtained from the Great Emperor's mystic realm. Of course, these are all voluntary. If you feel that they are useful to you, you can keep them. If they are not useful to you, you can hand them over to the sect. The sect will compensate you. You can be compensated with origin stones or sect contribution point. Sect contribution points are equivalent to 100 pieces of mid-grade origin stones. Sect contribution points can be used to exchange for any treasures in the sect's treasure dragon hall. As long as the Dragon God Valley has it, it can be exchanged. Elder Hong announced loudly. Sect contribution points can be exchanged for any treasures. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. He was a little tempted. His Dragon God battle body was currently an inferior Earth spiritual body. However, it could be upgraded continuously. The treasures needed to upgrade it were related to true dragons. True dragon bones, dragon blood, dragon marrow, etc., could be used to upgrade Lu Ming's Dragon God battle body. Of course, these true dragon treasures could only be used by true dragons that were martial emperors and above. Such treasures could only be found by chance. It was very difficult to find them in the outside world. However, all the martial artists in the Divine Dragon Valley had awakened the true dragon bloodline. Living Flood Dragon bloodline, there should be treasures related to true dragons. As long as there were treasures, they could be exchanged with contribution points. Lu Ming had already started to think about what treasures he should hand over later. The second thing is to join the Divine Dragon Valley and become an official disciple of the Divine Dragon Valley. However, the Divine Dragon Valley is divided into 7 valleys. They are Ice Dragon Valley, Silver Dragon Valley, Blood Dragon Valley, Red Dragon Valley, Purple Dragon Valley, Black Dragon Valley and Cloud Dragon Valley. Next, I will briefly explain the characteristics of the 7 Dragon Valleys. You can choose from the 7 Dragon Valleys. Following this, Elder Hong briefly explained the characteristics of the 7 Dragon Valleys. The Ice Dragon Valley was the leader of the 7 Dragon Valleys. The Valley Master of the Divine Dragon Valley was the Valley Master of the Ice Dragon Valley. Among the 7 Dragon Valleys, the Ice Dragon Valley was the strongest. Many people in the Ice Dragon Valley had awakened the Ice Dragon bloodline and cultivated the Ice Dragon battle body. The Blood Dragon Valley was extremely bloodthirsty. They were good at killing and cultivated the Blood Dragon battle body. The Cloud Dragon Valley was the weakest among the 7 Dragon Valleys. It also had the least number of people. The entire Cloud Dragon Valley only had a little over 100 people. Furthermore, there were no rules regarding which dragon body to cultivate. The most heterogeneous dragon body could join the Cloud Dragon Valley. The Cloud Dragon Valley had a special characteristic, which was freedom. They were as free as the clouds. Free and unrestrained, like the rolling clouds, Cloud Dragon Valley. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He found it interesting. Alright, it's time to hand over your treasures. Elder Hong announced loudly. Above the square, there was a huge counter. There were a few white-haired old men who were in charge of inspecting the treasures and registering their information. By the side, many people were watching curiously. They wanted to see what treasures they could obtain in the Great Emperor's mystic realm. "I'll go first." A burly young man walked up and took out a few spiritual herbs and a spiritual weapon. The spiritual weapon was an Emperor spiritual weapon. Not bad. An Emperor spiritual weapon is worth 1,000,000 medium origin stones or 10,000 sect contribution points. Do you need sect contribution points or origin stones? A white-haired old man asked. "I need sect contribution points," the burly young man said. "All right, I'll register it first. When you join one of the Dragon Valleys, I'll issue you an identity token and give it to you," the white-haired old man said. The burly young man nodded and registered his information. "All right, next," the white-haired old man said. Following that, another young man walked up and handed over the treasures that he did not need. Of course, some had more and some had fewer. There were all kinds of treasures. Be it spiritual herbs, refining materials, cultivation technique manuals, spiritual weapons, they could all be handed over. The white-haired old men would appraise the price and they would be compensated accordingly. Soon, thousands of people went up to hand over their treasures. However, none of them took out a sacred weapon. After all, sacred weapons were extremely precious and rare. Even in the Great Emperor's mystic realm, not many people had obtained one. Moreover, even if they had obtained one, most people would not be willing to take it out. "I'll go." Lu Ming smiled and walked up to the front of the counter. With a wave of his hand, a pile of spiritual weapons appeared on the counter. They emitted all kinds of treasure light. Emperor spiritual weapons. They are all Emperor spiritual weapons. There are so many of them. Chapter 1452. On the counter, there was a pile of Emperor-level spiritual weapons. There were at least a dozen of them. The white-haired elders were also slightly stunned. Lu Ming's expression was calm. He had killed many opponents in the Great Emperor's mystic realm. These people were all geniuses. Many of them had Emperor-level spiritual weapons in their hands. Lu Ming still had quite a number of Emperor-level spiritual weapons in his hands. What he took out were all useless to him. There were hammer-type weapons, axe-type weapons, and ring-type Emperor spirit weapons. These spiritual weapons were equivalent to scrap metal in Lu Ming's hands. It was better to hand them over to the sect in exchange for useful resources. There are a total of 15 Emperor-level spiritual weapons, worth 15 million mid-grade primal stones. Do you want to exchange them for primal stones or sect contribution points? The white-haired elder asked. "Exchange them with sect contribution points," Lu Ming said. There were quite a number of mid-grade primal stones in the storage rings of the opponents he had killed. It was enough for Lu Ming to use for a period of time. If he exchanged them for sect contribution points, he could exchange them for other treasures. "All right, we will register them. Do you have any other treasures to hand over?" The white-haired elder asked again. "Yes." Lu Ming nodded. His palms glowed. This time, 2 weapons appeared. One of them was a battle sword. When the battle sword appeared, there was a shocking sword chi that pierced through the clouds. The other was a palm-sized knife. There was a green mist on it and a disgusting stench was emitted. It was frightening. "Sacred weapons, 2 sacred weapons," someone exclaimed. Everyone's gaze fell on the 2 sacred weapons. Some people's gazes were burning with passion. "It's actually a sacred weapon. It seems like the harvest in the Great Emperor's mystic realm is really bountiful. Who is this person? He should be from another continent. He actually obtained 2 sacred weapons. It's really a great opportunity," many people discussed and were extremely envious. The Great Emperor's mystic realm was something that could only be found by chance. It was a pity that one's cultivation was below that of a martial emperor. Most people had surpassed that realm. The eyes of the white-haired elders also lit up. This was the first time someone had taken out a saint weapon and handed it in. These 2 items are bright saint weapons. They are 100 times more valuable than emperor weapons. Do you want to exchange them for contribution points or mid-grade origin stones? The white-haired old man took the 2 sacred weapons and examined them carefully before asking. Convert them all into contribution points, Lu Ming said. All right, 2 bright saint weapons, plus 15 emperor-grade spirit weapons, a total of 15 million sect contribution points. Do you have anything else you want to hand over? After the white-haired old man finished speaking, he looked at Lu Ming with some hope. No more. Lu Ming shook his head. More than 2 million contribution points should be enough for a period of time. That can't be right. Lu Ming, the treasures you obtained shouldn't be limited to just these, right? At this moment, a cold voice sounded. Without looking, Lu Ming could tell that it was Yin Feng's voice. Lu Ming coldly glanced at Yin Feng and said, I have nothing to hand over. Nothing? Who are you trying to fool? Where is your wing-shaped sacred weapon? Where are your other treasures? You should have obtained quite a lot. Why don't you take them out and hand them over to the sect? Yin Feng sneered. I do have other treasures, but I can use them myself. Elder Hong also said that I can keep whatever I can use. If you have treasures that you can use, will you hand them over? Lu Ming sneered and asked. Of course I will. I am wholeheartedly devoted to the sect. Yin Feng said. Oh, I forgot. A trash like you can't obtain any treasures. Naturally, you are willing to hand them over, Lu Ming said in disdain. You. Who are you calling trash? Yin Feng was furious. Aren't you? Do you want to fight with me to prove that you are not trash? Lu Ming said. Yin Feng was speechless. He was clear about Lu Ming's battle strength. It was extremely terrifying. If they were to fight, he would only be tortured by Lu Ming. You don't even dare to fight. If you are not trash, then what are you? Lu Ming said in disdain. Yin Feng was trembling with anger, but he could not refute. Lu Ming, I remember that you have obtained a break sage pill. You don't need it now. Why don't you hand it over? At this moment, Yu, who was standing beside Yin Feng, said coldly. What? A break sage pill? At this moment, the entire place became extremely quiet. Countless pairs of eyes stared intently at Lu Ming. Many people had a burning glow in their eyes. A break sage pill. Lu Ming had obtained a break sage pill. Phew, some people's breathing had even become heavy. There were many people around the square. Many of them were peak martial emperors, but they were stuck at the peak of the martial emperor realm, unable to break through. Some of them were at the end of their lifespan. The break sage pill was too tempting for them. If this was not the Divine Dragon Valley, where there were martial emperors, some of them would have already snatched it. Lu Ming frowned. This move of Yu's was extremely sinister. If he did not hand in the breakthrough sage elixir, there would be countless pairs of eyes in the Dragon Divine Valley staring at him. In the future, unless Lu Ming did not step out of the Dragon Divine Valley, who knew if someone would secretly make a move on him? This move was ruthless. Lu Ming, since you have the sheng-breaking elixir, why don't you hand it over and contribute to the sect? You have no use for such a treasure now. Moreover, you might die at any time. Wouldn't such a treasure be wasted? Yin Feng shouted. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. He then ignored Yin Feng and Yu and bowed to the white-haired old men. Seniors, I have nothing to hand over. Can I register it? Sure, register it. The white-haired old man said. Lu Ming nodded and was about to register it. Wait. At this moment, a voice came from afar. Then, an old man in a silver robe appeared in the sky. Elder Hong and the other white-haired old men's faces changed when they saw the old man in the silver robe. They stood up and bowed. Greetings, Valley Master Yinlong. Many people around the square bowed to him. What? Valley Master Yinlong? Valley Master Yinlong of the 7 Great Valleys? In the middle of the square, the young men who had not officially become disciples of the Divine Dragon Valley were shocked. The Valley Masters of the 7 Great Dragon Valleys were important figures who stood at the peak of the Divine Dragon Valley. Even in the vast Kang continent, they were top figures. Now, Valley Master Yinlong of the 7 Great Dragon Valleys had come personally. Grandfather! Yin Feng shouted in surprise when he saw Valley Master Yinlong. Many people gasped when they saw him. Yin Feng's grandfather was Valley Master Yinlong. Lu Ming furrowed his brows. Yin Feng's background was beyond his imagination. Millimeter. Valley Master Yinlong landed on the ground and nodded. What happened just now? It's him. That kid from the uncivilized island. He obtained a treasure in the Great Emperor's secret realm and wanted to take it for himself. He has no use for a treasure like the Break-Sage pill now. Chapter 1453. Moreover, he is the only one who has entered the core of Emperor Kang's palace. I suspect that he has obtained Emperor Kang's treasures or his legacy. He added fuel to the fire. What? Emperor Kang's legacy? His words were like a bomb that caused an uproar among the crowd. Many people looked at Lu Ming in shock. Even Valley Head Silverdragon's eyes shone with a fiery light. If the breakthrough sage elixir was only tempting to the peak martial royal realm experts, the Emperor Kang's treasures and legacy would be tempting even to the Valley Master of Silverdragon Valley. I have already said that I have not obtained Emperor Kang's legacy. I have already proven this in front of the experts of the various sects. Elder Hong is here to prove my word. Lu Ming said. That's right. Lu Ming has not obtained Emperor Kang's legacy, Elder Hong said. Emperor Kang's legacy is very important. I suggest that Lu Ming hand over everything for us to check. Lastly, we will search his soul. This is the only way to ensure that nothing goes wrong, Yin Feng said loudly with a vicious look in his eyes. Ha ha ha. At that moment, Lu Ming laughed out loud and said, I have already said that I have not obtained the legacy. Elder Hong has also proven this. Moreover, I have already said that those who enter the Emperor's secret realm can hand over any treasures they find. Now, you are forcing me to hand them over. Is this how Dragon God Valley treats their disciples? This is so disappointing. How dare you? The Valley Master of Silverdragon Valley shouted coldly and said, You're just a reserved disciple. How dare you talk about the Dragon God Valley? How audacious. Feng is right. I need to search your soul to make sure. Having said that, the Valley Master of Silverdragon Valley stepped forward and locked his aura on Lu Ming. Lu Ming realized that he could not move his body at all. It was as if he was frozen in place. Yin Zheng, you are already so old and you are a Valley Master. Don't you find it embarrassing to treat a junior in this manner? At that moment, a gentle voice resounded in the area. As the voice resounded, Lu Ming suddenly felt his body relax and he regained his freedom. Many people were shocked. Who dared to speak to Valley Master Silver Dragon like that? Valley Master Silver Dragon frowned and looked at the sky. In the sky, two figures stepped on the air and flew over. It was an old man with a gentle smile on his face. Behind the old man was a middle-aged man. Senior Long Yuanshan. Lu Ming's heart stirred. The middle-aged man following behind the old man was Long Yuanshan. Greetings, Valley Master Yun Long. Many people bowed when they saw this old man. Cloud Dragon Valley Master. Lu Ming's heart stirred. Another Valley Master had arrived. The Silver Dragon Valley Master stared at the Cloud Dragon Valley Master and said, What? Do you want to be a busybody? What do you mean meddling in other people's business? This little guy is right. How can my Dragon God Valley treat its disciples like this? It is up to him whether he wants to hand it over or not. To be honest, let's not talk about the fact that this brat did not obtain Emperor Kang's inheritance. Even if he did, it is up to him whether he wants to hand it over or not. Our Divine Dragon Valley only needs to ensure his growth. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master said calmly. What if I forcibly search your soul? The Silver Dragon Valley Master asked. You can give it a try. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master's eyes flashed and a mysterious aura emanated from his body. The Silver Dragon Valley Master looked at the Cloud Dragon Valley Master with a serious expression. After a while, he looked at Elder Hong and asked, Elder Hong, are you sure that this brat did not obtain Emperor Kang's inheritance? He can't have it because Emperor Kang is not dead. Elder Hong said. What? The Silver Dragon Valley Master was shocked. Not only him, but everyone present was also shocked. Emperor Kang was not dead. These 4 words were too shocking and could explain everything. After a while, the scene slowly quietened down. Let's continue. The Silver Dragon Valley Master waved his hand and walked to a chair at the side and sat down. Continue. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master also sat down. Little guy, register your name, the white-haired old man said to Lu Ming. Lu Ming nodded and registered his name before walking down the stage. Then, one by one, they went up to hand over their treasures. Just like that, 2 days and 2 nights passed and the task of handing over their treasures was finally over. Next was the second task, which was to choose one of the 7 dragon valleys to join. An elder from each dragon valley came and set up a counter in the square. Here, each elder represents a dragon valley. If you want to join a dragon valley, go forward and register. Elder Hong pointed at the 7 counters. The 7 counters each had a symbol that represented a different dragon valley. However, the Silver Dragon Valley and the Cloud Dragon Valley were special. The other dragon valleys sent their elders and only the valley masters of these 2 dragon valleys came personally. I want to join the Ice Dragon Valley. Someone stepped forward and walked toward the Ice Dragon Valley. Let me see your spiritual body, the elder of the Ice Dragon Valley said. This young man emitted a cold aura and the faint roar of a dragon could be heard. Yes, it's the Ice Dragon War body. You can join. The elder of the Ice Dragon Valley nodded and registered the young man's information. Senior, I want to join the Purple Dragon Valley. I want to join the Black Dragon Valley. The young men stepped forward and chose the Dragon Valley they wanted to join. Yin Feng naturally joined the Silver Dragon Valley. He Yu had joined the Blood Dragon Valley. Senior, I want to join the Cloud Dragon Valley. A young man walked to the Cloud Dragon Valley Master and said respectfully. Unexpectedly, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master shook his head and said, "You're not suitable for the Cloud Dragon Valley. Go." Many people were stunned. The Cloud Dragon Valley would not accept them. As long as their spiritual bodies were suitable, the other dragon valleys would accept them. This was because these young men had been tested for their talents and were very good. They were qualified to join the Divine Dragon Valley, but the Cloud Dragon Valley would not accept them. You don't know, right? The Cloud Dragon Valley only has a little over 100 people and is the weakest among the 7 dragon valleys. Naturally, the number of people joining is the least. Also, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master has a strange way of accepting people. He doesn't accept ordinary people and only accepts people based on his mood. A local disciple explained. Accepts based on his mood. Many people were speechless. As expected, a few more people wanted to join the Cloud Dragon Valley but were rejected by the Cloud Dragon Valley Master. Lu Ming, which Dragon Valley do you want to join? Qiu Yingying asked. I don't know yet. Lu Ming shook his head. He had not decided yet. His spiritual body was the Divine Dragon Battle Body. To be honest, he could join any Dragon Valley. As for his domain, it was the Chaotic Domain. It would not matter if he joined any Dragon Valley. However, he had already excluded the Silver Dragon Valley and the Blood Dragon Valley. He would not join these 2 Dragon Valleys. The remaining Dragon Valleys were fine. You don't know? Lu Ming, I'll go and register. I want to join the Ice Dragon Valley. Qiu Yingying said. Go. Chapter 1454. Qiu Yingying and Qiu Hao had similar physiques and had joined Ice Dragon Valley. As for the 3 Yuan brothers, they had joined Red Dragon Valley. Everyone present had joined the 7 Dragon Valleys. This time, there were more than 20,000 people who had entered the Great Emperor Mystic Realm. However, only 12,000 people had come out. More than half of them had stayed in the Great Emperor Mystic Realm forever. 12,000 people. Up until now, other than Cloud Dragon Valley, the other 6 Dragon Valleys each had more than 1,000 people. Only Cloud Dragon Valley had no one. Many people looked at each other. Cloud Dragon Valley was really strange. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master had come personally but had not accepted a single disciple. At this moment, Lu Ming stepped out and walked towards the Cloud Dragon Valley Master. This kid wants to join Cloud Dragon Valley. Yin Feng's eyes flashed. He did not want Lu Ming to join Cloud Dragon Valley. This was because, given his status, he had friends in the other 6 Dragon Valleys. If Lu Ming were to join them, He had 100 ways to kill Lu Ming. However, if Lu Ming were to join Cloud Dragon Valley, it would be troublesome. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master has always accepted disciples based on his mood. I hope he will not accept Lu Ming as his disciple, Yin Feng thought to himself. Around the square, many people looked at Lu Ming. Lu Ming had a treasure like the Break Sage elixir on him. Naturally, he would be the center of attention. Senior, I am Lu Ming. I would like to join Cloud Dragon Valley. Lu Ming walked in front of the Cloud Dragon Valley Master and bowed. Joining Cloud Dragon Valley was Lu Ming's final decision. Firstly, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master's motto was to be free. Lu Ming liked this very much. Also, Long Yuanshan was in Cloud Dragon Valley. Long Yuanshan's character was not bad. Lu Ming had a good impression of Long Yuanshan. Furthermore, Long Yuanshan and the Cloud Dragon Valley Master had both helped Lu Ming. Therefore, Lu Ming chose to join Cloud Dragon Valley. As for the fact that Cloud Dragon Valley was the weakest, he did not even consider it. He had come to the Yuan continent to cultivate. As long as he had a stable environment to cultivate in, he would be fine. You really want to join the Cloud Dragon Valley? Have you thought it through? The Valley Master of the Cloud Dragon Valley smiled and did not reject him directly like the others. Many people's hearts stirred. Could it be that the Cloud Dragon Valley Master was going to take Lu Ming in? Junior has thought it through. Lu Ming said firmly. All right, welcome to the Cloud Dragon Valley. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master smiled and agreed. Thank you, Senior. Lu Ming bowed to the Cloud Dragon Valley Master. Little guy, your name is Lu Ming, right? Are you willing to take this old man as your master and become this old man's 9th true disciple? The Cloud Dragon Valley Master spoke again. His words shocked everyone present. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master actually took the initiative to accept Lu Ming as a true disciple. This guy is really lucky. Yin Feng gritted his teeth. If Lu Ming became the Cloud Dragon Valley Master's true disciple, it would be even more troublesome for him to deal with Lu Ming. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master was famous for being protective and his strength was extremely terrifying. Even his grandfather, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master, was wary of the Cloud Dragon Valley Master. The other youths present looked at Lu Ming enviously. What kind of honor and opportunity was it to be accepted as a disciple by a Valley Master? Even though the Cloud Dragon Valley was the weakest among the 7 Dragon Valleys, he was still a Valley Master and his cultivation was unfathomable. Lu Ming was also stunned. He had not expected the Cloud Dragon Valley Master to accept him as a true disciple. Little guy, what do you think? If you are not willing, I will not force you. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master said warmly. Disciple Lu Ming greets Master. After pondering for a while, Lu Ming bowed. He had just arrived in the Yuan continent and needed a backer. This would be of great help to his cultivation in the future. Great, ha ha ha. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master laughed when he saw Lu Ming agree. This guy, I don't know what kind of luck he has to be accepted as a disciple by the Cloud Dragon Valley Master. He is just a lowly ant from a desolate island. I don't know what the Cloud Dragon Valley Master sees in him. Some of the local youths were so envious that their eyes turned red and they spoke with disdain. If his talent is not good enough, it is useless to have a good master. He will still be trampled by others in the future, someone said sourly. Some were unhappy and some were happy. Qiu Yingying, Qiu Hao and the Wan brothers were truly happy for Lu Ming. All right. At that moment, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master stood up and scanned the crowd. He said, my disciple might have some treasures on him after entering the Emperor's secret realm. That is his opportunity. I don't care about the competition between peers. If any old man dares to do anything to him, don't blame me for my bad temper. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master had always been a gentle person. However, at that moment, a cold aura emanated from him. The entire square was filled with a terrifying aura. Some of the peak martial royal realm experts felt as if there was a huge rock on their chests and they could not breathe properly. Forget about the break sage pill. Many people laughed bitterly in their hearts. Previously, there were many people who coveted Lu Ming's sheng-breaking elixir. However, The Valley Master of the Cloud Dragon Valley was famous for being protective of his own people. Moreover, he was very powerful. Those who coveted the shung-breaking elixir put aside their thoughts. Compared to the break-sage pill, their lives were more important. Ha, Lu Ming, no, ninth junior brother, congratulations. We are brothers from now on. Long Yuanshan laughed loudly. Greetings, senior brother. Lu Ming bowed to Long Yuanshan. I am Master's second disciple. You can call me second senior brother. Long Yuanshan laughed. Alright, let's go back to the Cloud Dragon Valley. After saying that, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master stepped into the air and left. The disciple recruitment was not over yet. However, after the Cloud Dragon Valley Master had accepted Lu Ming as his core disciple, he did not want to accept any more and left immediately. Ninth junior brother, let's go to the Cloud Dragon Valley. Long Yuanshan grinned and was extremely forthright. He then followed the Valley Master of the Cloud Dragon Valley and stepped into the air. Lu Ming followed closely behind. They were not heading towards the outer valley, but the deep snow mountain. As they walked in the air, snow fell from the sky. At a glance, huge snow mountains rose from the ground and one could not see the end of them. Dragon God Valley, it snows all year round, not stopping for a single day. It's really amazing. Legend has it that there's a terrifying ice dragon sleeping in the depths of the Great Snow Mountain, which caused such a phenomenon. That terrifying ice dragon is the guardian beast of Dragon God Valley. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat as a legend came to his mind. Below them, huge snowy mountains flashed past. Suddenly, a huge glacier valley appeared in front of them. This glacial canyon was quite unique. Above it were misty clouds, and snowflakes were falling from the clouds, making the entire glacial canyon look like a snowy wonderland. Yuanshan, bring Ming-Er to a cave residence. Ming-Er must be tired after entering the Great Emperor's secret realm. Let's rest first. Chapter 1455. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master was carefree and casual. He left as he pleased and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Lu Ming was speechless. Ninth junior brother, Master is like this. He's casual, but he treats his disciples extremely well. Long Yuanchuan smiled at Lu Ming and explained. Second senior brother, I heard that there are only 100 disciples in the Cloud Dragon Valley. Is that true? Lu Ming asked curiously. That's right. There are only 120 people in the Cloud Dragon Valley, including Master. The other valleys have a lot of disciples, deacons, and elders. However, there are no elders in the Cloud Dragon Valley. We only have Master and his 9 true disciples. The rest are ordinary disciples. Long Yuanchuan said. No elders. Is there only Master among the older generation? Lu Ming was even more curious. Yes, because there were only 6 valleys in the Divine Dragon Valley in the past. Each valley had a long history and there was no Cloud Dragon Valley. Cloud Dragon Valley was founded by Master. Long Yuanshan said. Founded by Master. Lu Ming was shocked. He was very curious about this Master that he had just acknowledged. Lu Ming knew that it was extremely difficult to establish an independent valley in a large sect like the Divine Dragon Valley. He was afraid that countless people would oppose it. However, the Valley Master of the Cloud Dragon Valley could do it. He was definitely not simple. Ninth junior brother, let's go. I'll bring you to your place of residence, Long Yuanshan said and stepped forward. Lu Ming followed. The Cloud Dragon Valley was huge and spacious, but there were only 100 or so people. After flying for a while, they finally met 2 young men. Greetings, senior brother. The 2 young men bowed when they saw Long Yuanshan. You're welcome. Let me introduce you. This is Master's new true disciple. Long Yuanshan pointed at Lu Ming and introduced. The Valley Master's new disciple? The 2 young men looked at Lu Ming curiously and bowed. Greetings, senior brother. Ah, senior brother? Lu Ming was stunned. Ninth junior brother, they are ordinary disciples of the Cloud Dragon Valley. They address us as senior brothers. Long Yuanshan transmitted his voice to Lu Ming. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. So that's how it is. There's no need for such formalities. Lu Ming smiled. Go ahead. With a wave of his hand, Long Yuanshan led Lu Ming deeper into the canyon. The deeper they went, the thicker the Yuan Qi became. Of Master's 9 disciples, other than the 2 of us, some are in seclusion, some are cultivating outside, and some are carrying out missions. If there's a chance in the future, I'll introduce them to you one by one. As they walked, Long Yuanshan explained the situation of the Cloud Dragon Valley. Soon, they arrived in front of a huge ice cave. The entrance to this ice cave was tightly shut. Junior brother, this cave is yours from now on. There is a formation at the entrance. I'll teach you how to control it. Long Yuanshan took out a jade talisman and handed it over to Lu Ming. Thank you, second senior. Lu Ming cupped his fists. 9th junior brother, familiarize yourself with it. I estimate that Master will summon you in a few days. Long Yuanshan smiled and walked away. Lu Ming picked up the jade talisman and scanned it with his spiritual sense. He memorized the method in the jade talisman. At the entrance, there was a simple formation that only required true origin to control. Lu Ming stepped forward and true origin spread out. With a click, the entrance to the ice cave opened. Lu Ming stepped in. Then, he controlled the formation and the entrance closed. Lu Ming carefully looked around the cave. The cave was huge. There was an ice bed, an ice table, an ice chair, etc. Lu Ming took a closer look and found that something was wrong. This was not ordinary ice, but ice jade. It was crystal clear and emitted a slight chill. Cultivating here could help to temper one's spiritual body. In addition, there was more than one bedroom in the ice cave. There were other ice rooms that were connected by passageways. Lu Ming looked around and found that there were more than 10 ice rooms. One of the ice rooms had a trickle of spring water that did not freeze. Lu Ming was very satisfied with this cave. The heaven and earth origin qi here was several times richer than in the outer valley. Let's count the gains this time. Lu Ming sat cross-legged on the ice jade bed. With a wave of his hand, he took out all the storage rings he had obtained this time. On the way back, Lu Ming just casually counted them. He sorted out the middle-grade origin stones, spirit herbs, spirit weapons, etc. As for the spirit herbs, Lu Ming kept them all in the mountain river diagram for Dandan and Bubbles to eat. Finally, Lu Ming kept the most valuable items in a storage ring. This time, Lu Ming had gained a lot from this trip to the Great Emperor's mystic realm. Some spirit herbs and refining materials, not to mention sacred herb, ancient heavenly sap tree, heavenly lore stones, more than 200 pieces. Sacred weapons, Lu Ming took out 2 to exchange for contribution points. There were 3 left. One was the black feather wings, another was the shield that Qiu Hao had given him, and the third was a jade bracelet. Lu Ming planned to give it to Xian Yanqing. In addition, there were 3 Emperor Region fruits and 1 Saint Breakthrough pill. Most importantly, Emperor Kang had given him a storage ring. This was the storage ring of a great emperor. Just thinking about it made Lu Ming's heart pound. It was a pity that he had lost his lightning cauldron. That was a sacred weapon. In Emperor Kang's chamber, Emperor Kang seemed to have used the lightning cauldron to suppress the soul extinguisher Dharma King. However, the soul extinguisher Dharma King had obviously recovered more than Emperor Kang. The 2 of them had entered the depths of the void. It was still unknown who would win this battle. Perhaps Emperor Kang would never appear again. Therefore, Lu Ming most likely would not be able to get his lightning cauldron back. Fortunately, with Emperor Kang's storage ring as compensation, Lu Ming felt a little better. Let's see what's in Emperor Kang's storage ring. Are there any Emperor weapons? Emperor pills? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. He picked up the storage ring and poured his true yuan into it. Lu Ming was stunned. He couldn't open it. Continue. He gritted his teeth and continued to increase his true yuan, but he still couldn't open it. I'll continue. After a while, Lu Ming gave up. Damn it, there's Emperor Kang's mark on this storage ring. With my cultivation, I can't break this mark at all. Lu Ming wanted to howl at the sky. He was so depressed that he was about to vomit blood. He couldn't eat the fat meat in his mouth. This reminded Lu Ming of the time when he had just started cultivating and obtained a king's storage ring. He couldn't open it either because he wasn't strong enough. The situation was so similar, but this time, Lu Ming was even more depressed. This was a great emperor's storage ring. He had exchanged his sacred weapon, the lightning cauldron. Lu Ming was unwilling to give up. He tried a few more times, but in the end, he could only give up helplessly. His cultivation wasn't enough to break Emperor Kang's mark. If he wanted to slowly break it, he wouldn't be able to do it without the cultivation of a saint realm. Lu Ming despised Emperor Kang for a long time. Since he gave the storage ring to him, why didn't he remove the mark on it? Lu Ming had no choice but to keep Emperor Kang's storage ring. Then, with a flash, the black wings appeared on his back. Lu Ming was ready to refine the black wings again. In the future, Lu Ming would have to refine the black wings frequently. This way, the power of the sacred weapon could be slowly unleashed. A day later, Lu Ming sacrificially refined the black feather wings again and put them away. Chapter 1456. Just like that, another 2 days passed. Lu Ming refined the shield and the soul spirit defense armor one after another. The shield flew into Lu Ming's forehead and disappeared, floating in his divine sense. As for the spiritual god defensive armor, it entered the dantian and covered the spiritual god's entire body. The spiritual god was now wearing a jade armor. After refining these treasures, Lu Ming took out 3 royal realm fruits, planning to refine them to improve his cultivation. A low-level martial dominator realm fruit could improve their cultivation by 1 layer after refining it. It was extremely precious. However, Lu Ming practiced the chaotic domain, thus he was not confident. He opened his mouth and swallowed one of the royal realm fruits, before refining it. A day later, after refining the royal realm fruit, Lu Ming shook his head and let out a wry smile. Indeed, it was impossible for others to improve their cultivation by 1 layer after refining 1 royal realm fruit. His cultivation remained at the 1st layer martial dominator realm. Continue. Following this, Lu Ming took out another royal realm fruit and began refining it. 2 days passed in the blink of an eye. Lu Ming had refined all 3 royal realm fruits, but his cultivation had only reached the peak of the 1st layer martial dominator realm. He had not even broken through to the 2nd layer martial dominator realm. The chaotic domain is indeed difficult to improve. 3 royal realm fruits can only help me reach the peak of the 1st layer martial dominator realm. Lu Ming let out a wry smile. However, it was not bad to reach the peak of the 1st layer martial dominator realm. Once the opportunity came, Lu Ming would be able to break through to the 2nd layer martial dominator realm. Now that I have reached the martial dominator realm, it's time to practice a domain martial skill, Lu Ming thought to himself. After his trip to the martial emperor secret ground, he realized that his attacks were too simple. Most of the time, he relied on the hell-suppressing heaven skill and the chaotic domain to crush his opponents. The hell-suppressing heaven skill combined with the hell-suppressing monument's bloodline was extremely powerful. It was enough to unleash a terrifying power in the martial dominator realm. However, it was too simple to use the hell-suppressing heaven skill alone. As for the primal chaos flipping sky seal, although it was extremely powerful, it also consumed a lot of energy. It could be used as a trump card and could not be used normally. Therefore, Lu Ming needed to cultivate an offensive domain martial technique. As for movement techniques, he didn't need them for the time being. Firstly, even though the Wind Origin art was only a conceptualized battle technique, when paired with the Wind Frozen Pearl and the Black Wings, his speed would be astonishing. Secondly, the 9 Dragons' Heaven Stomping Steps. Although it was not a domain martial technique, after Lu Ming cultivated the 9th step, its power was still shocking, especially when combined with the Dragon God battle body. Therefore, there was no need for him to cultivate any movement techniques for the time being. It was mainly about attacking. Moreover, Lu Ming wanted to cultivate a technique that would allow him to unleash the power of a spirit weapon or even a saint weapon. When Lu Ming executed the hell-suppressing heaven skill, he would generally fight with his physical body. Even if he had an emperor-level spirit weapon or a sacred weapon, it would be useless. For example, if his opponent was a swordsman and held a sacred weapon and fought with him, His opponent would have the additional power of the sacred weapon while he did not. Wouldn't he be at a disadvantage? What kind of domain martial technique should I cultivate? Lu Ming pondered. The memory fragments of the 9 dragons contained many domain martial techniques. In the chaotic domain, other than some very special domains that couldn't be transformed, all other domains could be transformed. For example, the spear domain, the sword domain. Therefore, Lu Ming could cultivate these types of domain martial techniques. 13 strikes. After a while, Lu Ming chose a domain martial technique. The 13 strikes was a spear art. When Lu Ming's cultivation was still low, he had always used a spear. Therefore, he still had a soft spot for spears. However, later on, when his cultivation was high, there was no suitable spear art. The hell-suppressing heaven art was powerful, so Lu Ming slowly stopped using spear art. Moreover, the power of the 13 strikes made Lu Ming quite satisfied. The 13 strikes used the spear domain as the foundation. Using the spear, the attacks were like a storm, one after another. When cultivated to the highest level, the spear could continuously erupt with 13 waves of power. The destructive power was astonishing. Swoosh! In the next moment, a spear appeared in Lu Ming's hand. Infinite Dragon Spear. Buzz! The Infinite Dragon Spear vibrated and let out a loud buzzing sound. Lu Ming shook his head and sighed. No, the Infinite Dragon Spear's level isn't high enough. Although the second body had refined the Infinite Dragon Spear in the past, allowing it to reach the level of a level 9 spiritual weapon, for Lu Ming's current cultivation, an ordinary level 9 spiritual weapon wouldn't be able to unleash Lu Ming's strength. Instead, it would shatter the spiritual weapon due to the excessive power. I'll wait for the second body to fully recover before slowly refining and upgrading it, Lu Ming thought as he kept the Infinite Dragon Spear. Then, another spear appeared in Lu Ming's hand. This spear was an Emperor spiritual weapon that Lu Ming had obtained in the Great Emperor's secret realm. Buzz! The spear vibrated and made a buzzing sound. Lu Ming was quite satisfied. If there's a chance, I'll get a sacred weapon spear and a pair of sacred weapon gloves, Lu Ming thought. With a pair of sacred weapon gloves, he wouldn't be at a disadvantage when using the suppressing Hell Heaven skill. Immediately, Lu Ming carefully comprehended the mysteries of the 13 stored power strikes. But soon, Lu Ming received a message from Long Yuanshan. Long Yuanshan was looking for him. When he opened the door of the cave dwelling, he saw Long Yuanshan standing outside. "Ninth junior brother, master is looking for you," Long Yuanshan said. Lu Ming nodded. He had been in seclusion for 7 days. It was time for the Cloud Dragon Valley master to look for him. Lu Ming followed Long Yuanshan into the depths of the Cloud Dragon Valley. Soon, they arrived at the end of the Cloud Dragon Valley. There was a cave dwelling here. After entering the cave dwelling, they saw the Cloud Dragon Valley master sitting on an ice platform. "Master, ninth junior brother is here. I'll take my leave." Long Yuanshan bowed and then left the place. Disciple greets master. Lu Ming bowed to the Cloud Dragon Valley master. Millimeter. The Cloud Dragon Valley master smiled and nodded. He glanced at Lu Ming and said, "Not bad, your cultivation has reached the peak of the first layer martial emperor realm. Your foundation is solid. You will be able to break through to the second layer martial emperor realm soon." Lu Ming did not say anything. He only listened quietly. "Ming, show me your domain. Let me have a look," the Cloud Dragon Valley master said. Lu Ming nodded and unleashed the chaotic domain without hesitation. There was no need to hide the chaotic domain. He would unleash it whenever he encountered a strong enemy. Those with good eyesight would be able to recognize it. As expected, the primal chaos domain spread out. The Cloud Dragon Valley master's eyes widened as he exclaimed, "Primal chaos domain." It was obvious that the Cloud Dragon Valley master was extremely shocked. After a while, the Cloud Dragon Valley master finally calmed down and began to ponder with a frown. After more than 10 minutes, the Cloud Dragon Valley master spoke again. "Ming, I didn't expect you to be so talented. You have mastered the legendary chaotic domain." Chapter 1457. Lu Ming smiled bitterly and rubbed his nose. The Valley Master had said that he had nothing to teach Lu Ming in the future. It seemed like he was destined to explore on his own. Ming, you have to be careful. The stronger the domain, the harder it will be to cultivate it. Especially when breaking through to the next realm, it will be more difficult. It is the same for the chaotic domain. So you have to spend more time on the chaotic domain in the future. After pondering for a moment, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master warned seriously. Lu Ming nodded. He had already noticed this. Also, from today onwards, you can enter any place in the Cloud Dragon Valley as you wish, including my library. There are all the cultivation experiences that I've accumulated along the way. You can go and comprehend them. Who knows, they might be of some help to you, the Valley Master said. Thank you, Master. Lu Ming was overjoyed and bowed to express his gratitude. He could enter any place in the Cloud Dragon Valley and the Valley Master's cultivation experience. The Valley Master's cultivation was unfathomable. Lu Ming estimated that he was definitely not a bright sage. He might have surpassed the bright sage realm. The cultivation experience of such a person was definitely precious. If Lu Ming were to comprehend it, it would be of great help to his cultivation. At this moment, a jade token appeared in the Valley Master's hand and said, "This is your identity token. It contains your information and your contribution points. Take a look and see if it is correct." Lu Ming took the identity token and inserted his true yuan into it. A row of information appeared in his mind. It was his basic information. In the contribution points column, he had 15 million contribution points. It was the contribution points that he had exchanged for the sect treasure. There was no mistake about it. Lu Ming kept the identity token. Ming, there is one thing that you have to take note of. Although I have accepted you as a core disciple and you have joined the Cloud Dragon Valley is a part of the Divine Dragon Valley. So, for the first 2 years, you will still have to listen to the arrangements of the Divine Dragon Valley and complete some basic tasks. After 2 years, you will not have to do any tasks and can choose for yourself, the Valley Master said. Millimeter. Lu Ming nodded. This was very easy to understand. Lu Ming was not too surprised. As a new disciple, it was normal for them to contribute to the sect. Also, you have offended the people of Silver Dragon Valley. Those guys are narrow-minded. You have to be careful of them during this period of time. Their elders won't dare to interfere, but I won't interfere with the competition between the younger generation. You have to rely on yourself. Finally, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master gave another warning. Thank you, Master. I will be careful, Lu Ming said. All right, go ahead. Cloud Dragon Valley Master waved his hand. Lu Ming bowed and then left. 15 million contribution points, I can't waste them. Let's see if there are any true dragon materials for exchange. Lu Ming had many thoughts in his mind. If he had the materials from a true dragon, he would be able to upgrade his dragon god battle body. Lu Ming continued to fly outwards, intending to ask around at the Treasure Dragon Hall. Before he could fly far, a figure blocked in front of Lu Ming. It was a young lady in a snow-white dress. She looked like she was only 18 or 19 years old. She had a graceful figure and was very beautiful, like a fairy that had descended to the mortal world. Stop. The young lady opened her arms and blocked in front of Lu Ming. You are? Lu Ming stopped and asked. You are the new pro-disciple that Master has accepted. The young lady blinked her big eyes curiously and looked at Lu Ming carefully. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. Judging from her tone, she should be another pro-disciple of the Cloud Dragon Valley Master. Lu Ming nodded and said, That's right. I am the 9th disciple that Master has accepted, Lu Ming. Haha. It's really you. Quick, call me senior sister. I am your 8th senior sister, Xuening Xin. I am no longer your junior sister. The young lady almost jumped up and laughed excitedly. Lu Ming was speechless. It turned out that she was his senior sister, but she was so young. In the end, Lu Ming had no choice but to cup his fists and say, Greetings, 8th senior sister. Millimeter, good. Cough cough. Xuening Xin was overjoyed, but she still pretended to be mature. She glanced at Lu Ming and coughed a few times, saying, "Junior brother, follow senior sister in the future. Senior sister will guarantee that you will have a good life." As she spoke, she patted her towering chest, causing it to shake violently. Lu Ming could not help but take a few more glances. However, Xuaningxin did not seem to notice it at all. She continued to pat her chest and said, "Junior brother, I heard that your battle strength is not bad. You displayed great prowess in the great emperor's mystic realm. Come, come, come. Let's spar a few moves." After speaking, she looked at Lu Ming with anticipation. Spar a few moves? Lu Ming was speechless. That's right. Ari, there are too few people in our Cloud Dragon Valley. It's so boring. Those ordinary disciples don't even dare to fight with me. In the past 10 years, Master has only accepted 3 successor disciples. As for the other senior brothers, they are already so old and their cultivation levels are so high. I'm not their match at all. There's also that killing maniac. He's out there training and killing every day. Xuening mumbled in her heart, but her mouth never stopped talking. Lu Ming was speechless. He quickly interrupted Xuaningxin and said, "Senior sister, I have something to do. Next time." After speaking, he was about to leave. "No, it has to be now. Today." "Are you looking down on me?" Xuaningxin stared and threw a punch at Lu Ming. Rumble. The punch was so powerful that it caused the space to tremble violently. So strong. Lu Ming was shocked. He did not dare to be careless. The chaotic domain spread out as he threw a punch at Xuaningxin. Dong. The 2 fists collided. Lu Ming's body shuddered as he felt a terrifying force surging toward him. His body shuddered and he was forced to take 9 steps back before he could regain his balance. However, Xuaningxin did not move at all. What a terrifying force. Lu Ming gasped a breath of cold air. Xuaningxin's strength was beyond his imagination. Most shockingly, he felt that Xuaningxin had only used her physical strength. She did not use much of her true energy. Her physical strength alone was enough to force him to take 9 steps back. Not bad. A first-layer martial royal realm cultivator was able to take a punch from me and only take 9 steps back. Not bad, not bad. Unfortunately, your cultivation is too low. Xuaningxin murmured. She looked at Lu Ming curiously and said, "Junior brother, you should work hard on your cultivation. Once your cultivation improves, you can spar with me." With that, without waiting for Lu Ming to speak, he left in a jog. Lu Ming was speechless. This senior sister was too weird. Most importantly, although the other party looked young, he was shockingly powerful. Even Lu Ming was taken aback by this. It seems that there are many geniuses in Yuanlu. Moreover, my cultivation is too low. Lu Ming thought to himself. Haha, 9th junior brother, don't mind her. That girl is just like that. Chapter 1458. Second senior brother. Lu Ming smiled and said, "I don't mind. Moreover, 8th senior sister's strength is profound. I admire her very much. 9th junior brother, let me tell you something." Long Yuanshan smiled mysteriously and said, "Actually, 8th junior sister is not human." "Not human? Demon?" Lu Ming's eyes moved as he whispered. 8th junior sister's true form is a dragon. A pure-blooded true dragon. Long Yuanshan said. What? A pure-blooded true dragon? Lu Ming was shocked. In the continent of God, Lu Ming had never met a pure-blooded divine beast. The pure-blooded divine beast was only 90% divine beast bloodline. However, 90% divine beast bloodline was not much different from a pure-blooded divine beast bloodline. A pure-blooded divine beast bloodline had an innate advantage and was incomparably powerful. Even a human's innate spiritual body was inferior to a pure-blooded divine beast bloodline. Especially a terrifying existence like a true dragon. It was said that a true dragon was born with the strength of a spirit sea realm cultivator. If they did not cultivate, they would naturally grow to adulthood and enter the martial emperor realm. Once they cultivated, their achievements would be even higher. Moreover, after a pure-blooded divine beast bloodline reached the martial emperor realm, their physique would undergo another transformation and become even more terrifying. Of course, true dragons were also differentiated by talent. After entering the martial emperor realm, their physique was also differentiated by strength. Lu Ming felt that Xuaningxin's physique was definitely not at the level of an inferior earth spiritual body. It had even surpassed the intermediate earth spiritual body. So she was a true dragon. No wonder she was so powerful. Yuanlu, as expected of Yuanlu. Not long after I arrived, I met a pure-blooded true dragon. Then, there must be other pure-blooded divine beasts in Yuanlu, such as killins and phoenixes. Lu Ming's heart was filled with endless anticipation. Yuanlu would definitely be more exciting and brilliant than the continent of God. The rise of geniuses and the competition of many divine beasts made Lu Ming's blood boil. Ninth junior brother, where are you going? Long Yuanshan asked. I'm going to the Treasure Dragon Palace to exchange for some useful things. Lu Ming said. Oh, I'm going to the Treasure Dragon Palace too. I'll take you there. Long Yuanshan smiled. All right. Lu Ming nodded and followed Long Yuanshan to the Treasure Dragon Palace. The Treasure Dragon Palace was located on top of a huge snowy mountain. The disciples of the Divine Dragon Valley could exchange their contribution points for treasures here. Of course, they could also exchange their treasures for contribution points. Soon, Lu Ming and Long Yuanshan arrived at the Treasure Dragon Palace. Outside the Precious Dragon Palace, there were many people coming and going. Fortunately, the palace was huge enough to accommodate so many people. So many experts. Lu Ming scanned the area with his spiritual sense and noticed that all the people here were Monarch Realm experts. As for those below the Monarch Realm, he didn't see a single one. There were counters all around the Treasure Dragon Palace. Junior brother, feel free to walk around. I still have things to do here. Long Yuanshan said. Senior brother, go ahead and do your work. Lu Ming nodded. Long Yuanshan nodded and walked towards a house. As for Lu Ming, he casually looked around. After looking around for a while, Lu Ming walked to a counter. A white-haired old man was sitting in front of the counter. Senior, may I ask if there are any spiritual liquids here? Lu Ming asked. Of course there are. There are various kinds of spiritual liquids recorded in this jade token. You can take your pick. The old man took out a jade token and handed it to Lu Ming. Lu Ming took it and scanned it with his spiritual sense. He noticed that there were hundreds of spiritual liquids recorded in it. The functions and effects of each spiritual liquid were clearly recorded. Lu Ming looked at them one by one. After a while, he returned the jade token to the old man. Senior, I need 1,000 Spirit Night. How do I exchange it? Lu Ming asked. 1,000 Spirit Night can promote the growth of spiritual herbs. It's something that alchemists need. It's very precious. 1 or 2,000 contribution points, the old man said. 1,000 contribution points is really expensive, Lu Ming murmured in his heart. 1 contribution point was equivalent to 100 mid-tier primal stones. 1,000 contribution points was equivalent to 100,000 mid-tier primal stones, and it was only 1 or 2 taels. The price was almost the same as the top-tier life elixir. However, in order to help the Tree of Enlightenment grow, it was worth it. Senior, I'll exchange it for 10 kilograms of 1,000 Spirit Night, Lu Ming said. All right, give me your identity medallion, the old man said. Lu Ming handed the badge to the old man. The old man took out a disc and scanned the badge, before returning it to Lu Ming. Lu Ming discovered that the contribution points in the badge had decreased by 100,000, leaving him with 2,050,000 contribution points. Following this, the old man took out a jade jar and handed it to Lu Ming. The jade jar was filled with 1,000 Spirit Night, a total of 10 kilograms. Lu Ming put it away with a satisfied look. Senior, do you have any materials from a true dragon that are above the martial dominator realm, such as dragon bones, dragon blood, dragon marrow, etc.? Lu Ming whispered to the old man. Lu Ming had obtained dragon bones that were not full of spirituality when he was in the divine wilderness mainland. However, the dragon bones were not very powerful when they were alive. Furthermore, Too much time had passed and most of their spirituality had been lost. That kind of dragon bone was not very useful to Lu Ming now. We do have materials from a true dragon that are above the martial dominator realm and full of spirit night, but there aren't many of them. Besides, the price is quite high, the old man said after a slight hesitation. Senior, I'm willing to exchange it. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. Millimeter, I'll ask around for you. The old man took out a sound-conducting jade talisman and transmitted the message. Soon, the old man received the message. According to your request, there's a dragon bone that weighs 30 kilograms. It's suspected that the true dragon's cultivation was in the sacred realm when it was alive, and its spirit night was full of spirit night, but the price is 2 million contribution points. Do you want it? The old man said. 2 million contribution points. Lu Ming was dumbfounded. A dragon bone weighing 30 kilograms was priced at 2 million contribution points. That was the price of 2 sacred weapons. However, the old man had mentioned that the true dragon was in the sacred realm when it was alive. No wonder it was so expensive. I'll do it. In the end, Lu Ming clenched his teeth. The old man glanced at Lu Ming in astonishment. Lu Ming's cultivation was only at the first layer martial dominator realm, but he was able to earn 2 million contribution points. Sure, give me a moment. The old man left the counter. Lu Ming knew that the old man was going to retrieve the dragon bone. A while later, the old man returned with a storage ring and handed it to Lu Ming. You can check it first. Lu Ming took the storage ring and scanned it with his spiritual senses. He discovered that there was a piece of snow-white dragon bone lying quietly in the storage ring, exuding a powerful spiritual essence. Vaguely, one could even see small dragons swimming on the dragon bones. This was definitely not the bone of an ordinary martial dominator realm true dragon. It was most likely left behind by a sacred realm true dragon. Lu Ming wore a joyful expression and handed his identity badge to the old man. Chapter 1459. Let's go back and refine it. I wonder what level my dragon god battle body can reach with this dragon bone. Lu Ming's heart was burning. After putting away the dragon bone, he did not delay and returned to the Cloud Dragon Valley. After entering the cave, Lu Ming first poured 5 kilograms of 10,000 spirit liquid on the Tree of Enlightenment before sitting down cross-legged. With a thought, the dragon bone appeared in front of Lu Ming. Roar. The dragon bone was crystal clear and a faint dragon roar could be heard from it, emitting a powerful spiritual essence. Great. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. His body emitted a powerful devouring force that enveloped the dragon bone. Immediately, strands of essence flew toward Lu Ming like tiny true dragons and flew into Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming circulated the true dragon battle technique and the cultivation method of the dragon god battle body. He began to absorb and refine the essence to refine his spirit body. Just like that, time flew by day. As time passed, the size of the dragon bone gradually became smaller and the radiance on it gradually dimmed. Lu Ming's body emitted bursts of dragon roars and a layer of sacred radiance emanated from him. Lu Ming's spirit body was undergoing a transformation. In the blink of an eye, half a month had passed. Crack. Cracks appeared on the dragon bone and with a bang, it turned into a pile of powder. There was no more spiritual essence on it. Roar. At this moment, a deafening dragon roar could be heard from Lu Ming's body. The shadow of 9 dragons appeared on Lu Ming's body and surrounded Lu Ming's body. After a while, it entered Lu Ming's body and disappeared. The muscles all over Lu Ming's body were wriggling and his bones were cracking. It was only after a while that everything quieted down. Huff. At this moment, Lu Ming let out a long breath and opened his eyes. Mid-level Earth spiritual body. Lu Ming felt the powerful energy in his body and a thought flashed through his mind. Mid-level Earth spiritual body. Lu Ming's spiritual body had successfully completed its evolution and reached the mid-level Earth spiritual body. This was a transformation of the essence from a low-level Earth spiritual body to a mid-level Earth spiritual body. If others knew about this, it would probably cause a huge uproar. The essence of a spiritual body was difficult to improve. Ordinary martial emperors would temper their spiritual bodies while increasing their cultivation. When their cultivation increased, their spiritual bodies would also become stronger. However, this kind of increase was only a quantitative increase. For example, if a martial artist with a low-level earth spiritual body increased his cultivation, his spiritual body's power would become stronger. However, he would still be a low-level earth spiritual body. Advancing from a low-grade earth spiritual body to a medium-grade earth spiritual body was a qualitative improvement. Lu Ming had completed the improvement of his essence. The higher the essence level of the spirit body, the more powerful it would be. Moreover, when one's cultivation level increased, the extent of the improvement of the spirit body would also be greater. It was very, very difficult for a spirit body to improve its intrinsic quality. There were very few ways to improve one's spiritual body. Just like Die in the past, he obtained the cultivation method of the 10,000 spirit body by chance. It was a method that could improve the essence of the spirit body, but it was also very difficult. It required the blood and essence of 10,000 kinds of creatures. Die had spent 10,000 years but had not succeeded. Once he succeeded, his spiritual body would evolve into a low-level earth spiritual body. It was rumored that there were some treasures of heaven and earth in the Yuan continent that could enhance the essence of one's spirit body. However, those treasures of heaven and earth were extremely rare and priceless. The dragon bones that cost 2 million contribution points can only improve one's spiritual body from a low-level earth spiritual body to a mid-level earth spiritual body. I don't know how many resources I will need to improve my spiritual body in the future. Lu Ming sighed. He had been looking forward to improving his spiritual body to a high-level earth spiritual body. Now, it seemed like an extravagant hope. The resources and dragon essence needed to improve his dragon god battle body were much greater than he had imagined. Moreover, the further he progressed, the more dragon essence he would need to improve his spiritual body. The amount of dragon essence needed to improve his spiritual body from a mid-level earth spiritual body to a high-level earth spiritual body was 10 times more than the amount needed to improve his spiritual body from a low-level earth spiritual body to a mid-level earth spiritual body. Later on, if he wanted to improve his spiritual body to a heavenly spiritual body, he would need an astronomical figure. Just thinking about it gave Lu Ming a headache. Let's take it slow. After my cultivation has improved, I will go out and adventure more to earn origin stones and contribution point. This was Lu Ming's plan. Then, Lu Ming continued to cultivate. He comprehended the 13 strikes and the chaotic flipping sky seal. The chaotic flipping sky seal, like other realm martial techniques, was divided into 6 levels. Lu Ming was only at the first level and was about to break through to the second level. In the blink of an eye, another 10 days passed. Lu Ming had joined the Cloud Dragon Valley for more than a month. After 10 days of hard work, the chaotic flipping sky seal had successfully reached the second level. And Lu Ming had also reached the second level of the 13 strikes. With a casual swing of the long spear, he could release 4 forces in an instant. The power was astonishing. At this moment, Lu Ming received a message. He had a mission. The Dragon God Valley had assigned him a mission. Generally, new disciples would be given a mission by the sect within 3 months. Lu Ming followed the instructions of the mission and flew out of the Dragon God Valley. On a small snowy mountain, there were already a few people waiting there. These people also had the same mission as Lu Ming. You are Lu Ming. Lu Ming landed. Some of them recognized Lu Ming. When Lu Ming had just joined the Dragon God Valley, he had caused a huge commotion. The Silver Dragon Valley Master and the Cloud Dragon Valley Master had personally come. In the end, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master had personally accepted Lu Ming as his disciple. Many people had been watching the battle, thus it was normal for some of them to recognize Lu Ming. How should I address you? Lu Ming brought his fists together and scanned the crowd. Apart from Lu Ming, there were 4 other people. One of them was a bulky man in his 30s with a buzz cut. His aura was the most intimidating among them. The other 3 were slightly younger. 2 of them were young men in their 20s and a young woman in her 20s. Both of them had a voluptuous figure. I'm Shu Long. The man with buzz cut introduced himself. Following this, the other 3 introduced themselves too. Of the 2 young men, One was called Zhong Kong and the other was called Fu Xing. The young woman was called Duan Yang. The few of them did not hide their cultivation level. Lu Ming scanned them with his spiritual senses and found out their cultivation level. Xu Long's cultivation was the strongest, at the peak third-layer martial dominator realm. Meanwhile, Fu Xing and Duan Yang were both third-layer martial dominators. One was in the early stage, while the other was in the late stage. Zhong Kong's cultivation was at the peak second-layer martial dominator realm. Lu Ming was the weakest, with a cultivation of the peak first-layer martial dominator realm. I believe everyone is aware of our mission. The Feng clan of the Six Void Mountain is a subsidiary clan of the Dragon God Valley. A while ago, the patriarch of the Feng clan was murdered out of nowhere, and the Feng clan was unable to find any clues. A few days later, the second master of the Feng clan was murdered out of nowhere too. The Feng clan panicked and asked for help from the Dragon God Valley. Our mission is to find the reason behind the deaths of the patriarch and the second master of the Feng clan, and find the culprit, to ensure the safety of the Feng clan. Xu Long briefly explained the mission this time. Lu Ming and the others nodded. They had seen the mission before. All right, let's move out, Xu Long said. Chapter 1460. The Feng clan of the Six Void Mountain was located in the territory of the Divine Dragon Valley. It was a small clan that was affiliated to the Divine Dragon Valley, and was quite far away from the Divine Dragon Valley. The five of them traveled day and night, and it took them 10 days to arrive at the Feng clan. Such an eerie aura. Duan Yang shuddered as they approached the Feng clan. The others frowned as they felt the air was exceptionally cold. Up ahead, there was a continuous stretch of palaces. A group of people came out to welcome them. The one leading the group was a young man with a pale face. He immediately bowed when he saw Lu Ming and the others. Feng Yi of the Feng clan greets the envoys of the Divine Dragon Valley. Don't mention it. Xu Long waved his hand. After some introductions, the group knew that Feng Yi was the only son of the Feng clan's patriarch. The people who followed Feng Yi to welcome them were the higher-ups of the Feng clan. Everyone, let's talk inside. Feng Yi led Lu Ming and the others into the Feng clan's residence. Such an eerie aura. Lu Ming frowned as he entered the Feng clan's residence. He could feel that the aura here was even colder. Did anything happen to the Feng clan recently? Xu Long was the first to speak as the group took their seats in the main hall. 3 days ago, my third uncle died too, Feng Yi said with a sorrowful expression. The others of the Feng clan wore terrified expressions. The Feng clan had no idea who they had offended. The higher-ups of the Feng clan had died mysteriously one after another, causing the Feng clan to fall into a state of panic. No one knew who would be the next one to die. Do you know how they died? Xu Long asked. No idea, we've checked carefully. There are no wounds, not even a single wound, Feng Yi said while shaking his head. No wounds. How is that possible? Fu Xing said in disbelief. There really are no wounds. We've checked carefully. My father, my second uncle, and my third uncle are all the same. There are no wounds at all, as if they died suddenly. However, they are all martial dominator realm experts, so it's impossible for them to die suddenly. Someone must be behind this, Feng Yi said while clenching his teeth. Does the Feng clan have any enemies? Xu Long asked. Our Feng family is considered relatively weak in this region of Six Void Mountain. Normally, when we do things, we tremble with fear. How could we dare to offend other forces? Therefore, our Feng family has always been on good terms with other families and forces. We virtually don't have any enemies, Feng Yi said. Xu Long, Lu Ming, and the others frowned. There were no enemies and no wounds, which meant that there were no clues. How could he investigate? Could it be that he had to wait for the rabbit to show up? Wait for the other party to attack again? The hall suddenly quieted down, and the atmosphere seemed a little heavy. I suggest that we open the coffin for an autopsy. Suddenly, a voice broke the silence. The one who spoke was Lu Ming. Open the coffin for an autopsy? Everyone looked at Lu Ming. I don't think that's a good idea. My father and the others have just been buried not too long ago. It's a little disrespectful to open a tavern now, Feng Yi said. I also agree with opening the coffin for an autopsy. Otherwise, without any clues at all, how are we supposed to investigate the matter? If the other party doesn't make a move after that, wouldn't this matter be left unsettled? Xu Long said. Then, Fu Xing, Duan Yang, and Zhong Kong spoke one after another, agreeing to open the coffin for an autopsy. Feng Yi's expression changed, but in the end, he gritted his teeth and nodded, agreeing to this matter. Under the lead of Feng Yi and the Feng family's upper echelons, the group headed to the back mountain. Soon, they arrived at the burial place of the Feng family's patriarch and the others. Feng Yi arranged for the Feng family's men to act. Soon, 3 purple gold coffins were placed in front of Xu Long and the others, and the coffin lids were already opened. 3 middle-aged men were lying quietly inside the purple gold coffins. The 3 of them were emperors, and their corpses wouldn't be corroded without at least 100 years of age. Lu Ming, Xu Long, and the others carefully examined the corpses. Suddenly, Lu Ming's eyebrows twitched, as if he had discovered something. His eyes were filled with doubt, but he didn't say anything. Then, everyone carefully examined the corpses. Sure enough, there weren't any wounds, not even the slightest. No wounds. Lu Ming frowned. He recalled the men of the Kang Emperor in the Martial Emperor's mystic ground, who had died in the Martial Emperor's mystic ground without any wounds. Lu Ming speculated that those people had been killed by the soul-destroying Mage Emperor. However, Lu Ming didn't think that the soul-destroying Mage Emperor had escaped from the Martial Emperor realm and came here to kill a low-level Martial Dominator realm cultivator every few days. It was impossible. The soul-destroying Mage Emperor, destroying his soul? By the way, could it be that these people's souls were destroyed? Lu Ming's heart shuddered as he thought of this possibility. His eyes flickered with astonishment. He had a feeling that this matter wasn't as simple as it seemed. After a careful examination, the Feng family's men buried the 3 patriarchs, and the group returned to the main hall. Xu Long, Fu Xing, and the others frowned, as they couldn't find any clues. Strange, there aren't any wounds. Could it be that their souls were destroyed? Xu Long said in a serious tone. The others remained silent. It was highly possible. If the culprit has a grudge against the Feng family and is here to seek revenge, the next target would most likely be you, young Master Feng. Fu Xing said, causing Feng Yi's face to turn even paler. What should I do? Esteemed envoys, please save me. Whatever you want, my Feng family will try our best to satisfy you, even if it means going bankrupt. Feng Yi begged. Millimeter, don't worry. Since we've accepted the mission, we'll definitely complete it and guarantee your safety, Xu Long said. How about this? Why don't we take turns protecting young Master Feng? Junior brother Lu Ming and junior brother Zhong Kong will be in a group, Fu Xing and I will be in a group, and senior brother Xu Long will be alone. How does that sound? Duan Yang's gaze shifted as she spoke. I'm fine with it. Fu Xing let out a smile. Lu Ming raised his eyebrows slightly. This grouping was quite interesting. Among the 5, he and Zhong Kong had the lowest cultivation, but they were grouped together. This didn't make sense. The corners of Lu Ming's lips gradually curled into a smile. The mission was quite strange to begin with. Among the 5 of them, Xu Long, Fu Xing, and Duan Yang were all 3rd-layer Martial Dominator realm cultivators, while he was only a 1st-layer Martial Dominator realm cultivator. The arrangement didn't make sense at all. Logically speaking, since Xu Long, Fu Xing, and Duan Yang were all 3rd-layer Martial Dominators, it implied that the mission could only be completed with a cultivation of the 3rd-layer Martial Dominator realm. What was the meaning of placing a 1st-layer Martial Dominator realm cultivator in the mission? Could it be that someone was manipulating the mission? Or could it be that someone had purposely placed Xu Long, Fu Xing, and Duan Yang here? Lu Ming immediately recalled Yin Feng and He Yu. Chapter 1461. He thought of these situations since the moment he saw Xu Long and the rest. It was just that Duan Yang's arrangement now gave him a reminder. Okay, I have no objections. Lu Ming's mind spun as he directly agreed. Zhong Kong mused for a moment and also nodded in agreement. Okay, Then let's do that. If the other party is really seeking revenge, then the next target will definitely be young Lord Feng. As long as the other party appears, we'll make it difficult for the other party to escape, Shulong announced. Starting from that night, everyone took turns to guard the surroundings of Feng Yi's bedroom. On the first day, it was Lu Ming and Zhong Kong. On the second day, it was Fu Xing and Duan Yang. On the third day, it was Shulong. That night, everything was calm and peaceful. Nothing happened at all. It was the same for the second day and the third day. Just like this, 6 days passed in a blink of an eye. On the 7th day, it was Lu Ming and Zhong Kong's turn again. The night sky was quiet, the cold wind whistling. In a hidden corner, Lu Ming sat cross-legged. His aura was restrained, and his spiritual sense spread out, enveloping the entire Feng family mansion. On the other side was Zhong Kong. Very soon, it was late at night. Suddenly, a shadow flashed past in the night sky. Swoosh! Right at this time, Lu Ming suddenly opened his eyes. His figure dashed out, as fast as lightning, pouncing towards that shadow. And on the other side, Zhong Kong clearly sensed it too, pouncing out at the same time as Lu Ming. Whoosh! That shadow seemed to know that he was discovered and also swiftly rushed out, his speed shockingly fast. 3 figures, one in front and one behind, rushed out of the Feng family mansion and rushed towards Six Void Mountain. Six Void Mountain was incomparably huge. Inside, there were countless dangerous peaks, and the terrain was extremely complicated. Once that shadow rushed out of the Feng family mansion, it rushed straight into Six Void Mountain. From high up in the sky, the other party's figure could not be seen at all. One could only similarly rush into Six Void Mountain to chase after the other party. Lu Ming and Zhong Kong rushed into Six Void Mountain one after another. Their auras firmly locked onto the other party, chasing all the way. But the other party's speed was shocking, and he seemed to be very familiar with Six Void Mountain's terrain. Turning left and right in Six Void Mountain, the two people could not catch up at all for a while. I'll go ahead and block them. You chase after them from behind. Lu Ming transmitted his voice to Lu Ming, and then he soared into the sky. Black wings stretched out from his back, and with a flap, Lu Ming flew forward at an extremely fast speed. His speed suddenly increased by several times. Lu Ming wanted to rush to the front and intercept the other party, so that the other party had no way out. But at this moment, in the vast mountains below, a shrill scream rang out. It was from Zhong Kong. Lu Ming's expression changed. His figure swooped down, rushing towards the source of the sound. Bang! Lu Ming landed in a valley. The voice just now came from here, but now, there was no one here. There's blood. Lu Ming saw blood. According to the aura of the blood, it was Zhong Kong. But there was only blood, and no one. Lu Ming's spiritual sense spread out, but he did not sense anything at all. Not only did that person from before disappear, even Zhong Kong's aura also vanished without a trace. Lu Ming frowned. Just this short while, the other party and Zhong Kong actually disappeared without a trace together. It was too strange. Lu Ming speculated that the other party was absolutely incomparably familiar with Six Void Mountain. There was even a secret hiding place nearby. Lu Ming started searching in the vicinity. But after searching for a while, he still found nothing. Lu Ming speculated that Zhong Kong was most likely dead. Helpless, Lu Ming could only return to the Feng family. Just returning to the Feng family, he saw a group of people waiting at the Feng family's gate. Feng Yi, as well as the Feng family's other powerhouses. Shulong, Fu Xing, and Duan Yang were all there. The 3 people faintly protected Feng Yi in the middle. The moment they saw Lu Ming return, everyone's eyes lit up. Junior apprentice brother Lu Ming, how was it? Did you catch the culprit? Shulong asked. Lu Ming shook his head and said, no, the other party is incomparably familiar with this area of Six Void Mountain and did not catch up. Did not catch up. What about junior apprentice brother Zhong Kong? Duan Yang frowned and asked. Zhong Kong is most likely dead, Lu Ming said, recounting the matter of them chasing that shadow previously. That's not right. After Lu Ming finished speaking, Duan Yang opened her mouth coldly, staring at Lu Ming with an unfriendly gaze. What's not right? Lu Ming said. You said that the culprit was able to inflict serious injuries and even kill junior apprentice brother Zhong Kong within an instant, but you could not find any trace of the culprit. That's not right. How could the culprit disappear so quickly? Secondly, you said that you could not find any trace of junior apprentice brother Zhong Kong and the culprit. May I ask, junior apprentice brother Zhong Kong's cultivation is at the peak second layer martial dominator realm, but the culprit was able to inflict serious injuries or even kill him in an instant. On the other hand, your cultivation is only at the first layer martial dominator realm. Why didn't the culprit continue to target you, instead allowing you to search the place before letting you go? Why didn't the culprit kill you too? Duan Yang asked coldly. At the side, the others also looked puzzled. Are you suspecting me? Lu Ming let out a hollow laugh. That's right, you chased after the culprit together with Zhong Kong. Zhong Kong, whose cultivation was higher, was killed, but you were still alive. I suspect that you're a coward, who chose to leave Zhong Kong alone when he was in danger. Furthermore, you were the one who killed Zhong Kong, and you were trying to rob him of his treasures, right? Duan Yang scolded loudly, a cunning look flashing in her eyes. Lu Ming, is that true? Fu Xing stared at Lu Ming with an unfriendly look. Are they trying to make things difficult for me? Lu Ming let out a hollow laugh in his heart. It turned out that Duan Yang and Fu Xing were up to something. They were purposely picking on him. These two were most likely from the Yin Feng faction. How ridiculous, if you want to condemn someone, you can always find a pretext. What are you trying to do? Just tell me. Lu Ming said calmly. Humph, I'm right, so you have nothing to say now. Since you're a suspect, you better seal your cultivation and let us watch over you. Once the mission is over, we'll bring you back to the Dragon God Valley to receive your punishment. Duan Yang said. Hee, seal my cultivation? Sure, come here, let's see if you can seal my cultivation. Lu Ming let out a hollow laugh. His eyes flickered with an icy murderous intent. Sealing his cultivation, didn't that mean they could do whatever they wanted to him? Why would Lu Ming seal his cultivation? How ridiculous. Are you trying to resist? Duan Yang snapped coldly. Previously, she had heard that although Lu Ming had only ranked up to the martial dominator realm not long ago, his strength was shocking. Even geniuses like He Yu were no match against Lu Ming in the martial emperor mystical ground. Although her cultivation was 2 layers higher than Lu Ming's, she was not confident that she could defeat him in a battle. Nonsense, if I say you're guilty, would you be willing to kneel down before me? Lu Ming let out a hollow laugh. Humph, you're the most suspicious person in Zhong Kong's death today. You should give us an explanation. Duan Yang snapped. Explanation? Who do you think you are? Why should I give you an explanation? Lu Ming said disdainfully. Duan Yang and Fu Xing's faces turned unpleasant. Alright, today's incident might not be junior brother Lu Ming's fault. Duan Yang, stop guessing. Our priority now is to find the culprit and complete the mission. Chapter 1462. Duan Yang and Fu Xing seemed to be afraid of Xu Long. They glanced coldly at Lu Ming, walked to the side, and did not continue to ask. Now we can basically confirm that the other party is here for revenge. The next target is young Lord Feng. Xu Long spoke again, causing Feng Yi's face to turn pale. Esteemed envoys, you must save me. Feng Yi cried out with a look of horror on his face. Don't worry, judging from the previous situation, the other party only wants to sneak attack at night, which means that they are not very strong and are afraid of us. Now, we have to lure them here. Xu Long said. Lure? How? Feng Yi said. We'll set up a formation around young Lord Feng's bedroom. Once the other party comes and steps into the formation, it'll be like catching a turtle in the wind, Xu Long said confidently. Feng Yi's eyes lit up and said, That's right, why didn't I think of it? My Feng family also has a few 9th grade inscribers who can set up the formation together. I also cultivate the Tao of inscription, and I can lend you a hand. Duan Yang stepped out and said. Lu Ming just listened, and a faint light flashed in the depths of his eyes. He did not say anything and did not say that he would help set up the formation. Now, his second body was almost healed and was cultivating in the mountain and river diagram. Okay, then let's take action now, Shulong said. Immediately, the Feng family's inscribers and Duan Yang set up a formation in Feng Yi's bedroom. They also used various concealment formations to conceal the aura of the formation. If one did not observe carefully, one would not be able to see the formation. They were busy until the second night before they finished setting up the formation. That night, Lu Ming and the others did not guard near Feng Yi's bedroom. Instead, they returned to their rooms to rest. Guarding near Feng Yi would only alert the enemy. In this way, there was no movement after 2 days. Until the third night. Help! Suddenly, a cry for help cut through the quiet night sky. It was Feng Yi's voice. Whoosh! Lu Ming, who was cultivating, suddenly opened his eyes and rushed out. As soon as he rushed out, he saw a figure rushing into the sky from Feng Yi's bedroom. This figure was still holding Feng Yi in his hand and flying toward the 6-void mountain. Chase! At this moment, Shu Long, Fu Xing, and Duan Yang appeared and chased after the figure with extreme speed. Lu Ming also chased after the figure. One chasing and one fleeing, they rushed into the 6-void mountain in a blink of an eye. Once they rushed to the range of 6-void mountain, the other party swooped down, charging into the mountain forest. Lu Ming and the other 3 followed closely behind, rushing into the forest. Help! Feng Yi shouted. In the night sky, Lu Ming and the others could clearly see that the figure in front of them was wearing a loose black robe. He grabbed Feng Yi and continued to move forward at an extremely fast speed. In the dark forest, he was like a ghost. Today, you won't be able to escape. Surrender, Shu Long shouted. The true essence in his body surged, and his speed increased. In the blink of an eye, the group had traveled thousands of miles in the 6-void mountain. Lu Ming and the others were getting closer and closer to the black-robed man. Stop! At this moment, Lu Ming shouted. Shu Long, Duan Yang, and Fu Xing jumped in fright and involuntarily stopped. Lu Ming, what are you doing? What's the meaning of this? Duan Yang reprimanded Lu Ming. What are you shouting for? You'll know when you see that person, Lu Ming said indifferently. Duan Yang and the others looked forward and couldn't help but be stunned. Because at this moment, the black-robed man also stopped and didn't continue to escape. Strange, Lu Ming stopped. Why didn't the black-robed man seize the opportunity to escape? Why did he stop? Shu Long, Duan Yang, and Fu Xing were full of doubts. Because there's a great killing formation in front of us. Once we step in, we'll die without a doubt, Lu Ming said. What? Great killing formation? Shu Long and the other 2's faces changed wildly. Duan Yang looked carefully and said, Impossible, there's no trace of a formation in front. It's impossible for there to be a great formation. If there really was one, how could I not see it? Lu Ming, don't talk nonsense here. Oh! If you don't believe me, you can go ahead and try. Lu Ming smirked coldly. Duan Yang's expression changed. Seeing how confident Lu Ming was, she became doubtful and didn't dare to go forward. She wouldn't joke around with her life. Shu Long and Fu Xing were also doubtful. Hehe, I didn't expect this formation to be so well hidden and still be discovered by you guys. As expected of a disciple of the Dragon God Valley, the black-robed man in front of them laughed coldly, his voice hoarse and unpleasant to the ears. Who are you? The Feng clan is a subsidiary clan of my Dragon God Valley. You dared to kill a member of the Feng clan, which means you're going against my Dragon God Valley. I'll give you a chance now, let Feng Yi go, Shu Long said coldly. He, a disciple of the Dragon God Valley, how impressive. The black-robed man smirked. He, don't pretend anymore. Right then, Lu Ming sneered and said, You've been plotting all this while. From the moment we stepped into the Feng family, no, from the moment you sought help from the Divine Dragon Valley, you've been plotting all this while. Your goal is to lure us here and into that array. Am I right, master of the Feng family? What? Lu Ming's words made Shu Long, Duan Yang, and Fu Xing dumbfounded. Feng clan's patriarch? How was that possible? Lu Ming, what nonsense are you talking about? Feng Clan's patriarch, we saw it with our own eyes, he's already dead. Duan Yang reprimanded. Who said that the person we saw was the real Feng Clan's patriarch? Lu Ming smiled faintly. This, Shu Long, Duan Yang, and the others fell silent. Indeed, who said that the person they saw was the real Feng Clan's patriarch? If the person they saw wasn't the real Feng Clan's patriarch, then wouldn't Feng Yi be? Their cold gazes fell on Feng Yi. At this time, the black-robed man had already put Feng Yi down. Feng Yi wasn't injured at all. I didn't expect you to see through my plan even though it was so well hidden. The black-robed man suddenly sighed and removed the hood covering his head. Shu Long, Duan Yang, and Fu Xing's eyes narrowed. Sure enough, it was the Feng Clan's patriarch. He looked exactly the same as the Feng Clan's patriarch they saw when they opened the coffin. In other words, the Feng Clan's patriarch they saw when they opened the coffin was a fake. In the martial world, using special methods to alter another person's appearance was a simple matter. In the martial world, one's aura was the most important factor in identifying people. Appearances could change, but aura remained the same. However, they had never seen the Feng Clan's patriarch before, thus they couldn't recognize his aura. Therefore, it was easy for the Feng Clan to find a fake person to impersonate the Feng Clan's patriarch. Young man, my plan can be said to be flawless. I really want to know, how did you find out? The Feng Clan's patriarch looked at Lu Ming with curiosity, but he wasn't flustered. Flawless? Hehe, in my opinion, it's full of flaws. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.